Toronto's light favorites, 98.1 CHFI, and relax with us online at CHFI.com.
From the heart of the city, this is the soundtrack to accompany a set of footprints in the snow. Good evening, I'm Don Jackson. A proverb from Love Songs of Asia, translated from the Turkish by Powys Mathers. Before you love, learn to run through snow, leaving no footprint. For a while today, the snow was pristine. Before the cars, trucks, salt, and footprints changed all that, seemed a shame to disturb it, but something had disturbed the snowfall in my driveway. Footprints in the snow, with Lovers and Other Strangers from 98.1 CHFI. Lovers and Other Strangers, Celine Dion with Miles to Go Before I Sleep, and Phil Collins, and You'll Be in My Heart. I was out shoveling bright and early this morning after last night's storm. As I cleared a path down the driveway, I stumbled across some footprints, partially filled in by the snow that fell after the marks were made. Now, I recognized the heavy prints of neighbors and the lighter paw prints of their dogs on the sidewalk. But there was another set that confused me for a moment. I stumbled upon them as they had exited my driveway. I retraced my steps to see where they originated. I felt like a tracker following a set of prints in the wild. But here I was at home in my familiar community. I figured it out when I saw where the prints originated and upon closer examination of the marks themselves. I will tell you who my late-night visitors were in time over the course of the program tonight. But if you've ever stumbled upon a pair of footprints in the snow of winter, or the footprints that you might see along a sandy beach, maybe you too have been curious enough to wonder where they came from and where they're headed. This is a poem called Vacancy in the Park by Wallace Stevens. It was published in the 1951 collection Collected Poems of Wallace Stevens by Alfred A. Knopf. He writes, March. Someone has walked across the snow. Someone looking for he knows not what. It is like a boat that is pulled away from a shore at night and disappeared. It is like a guitar left on a table by a woman who has forgotten it. It is like the feeling of a man come back to see a certain house. We'll follow some of those prints tonight with Lovers and Other Strangers from 98.1 CHFI. Lovers and Other Strangers, John Denver with Annie's Song, and RyanDan and The Face, and the mention of a journey. And the subject of my blog tonight really likes that song, The Face. If we were to follow a set of prints in the snow, we might find our way to these people. Robert Frost wrote, In winter, in the woods alone, against the trees I go. I link a line of shadowy tracks across the tinted snow. And this excerpt from At Home in Mitford, published in 1996 by Penguin. Jan writes, when he reached Winnie Ivy's cottage by the bridge, he turned left and headed far along the creek into the snow-silent woods. Here and there, limbs fell with a soft thud onto the white crust of the forest floor. which caused Barnabas to leap with a mixture of joy and alarm at the end of his red leash. What, he wondered, had he ever done without Barnabas? Without the long, companionable walks, the pleasure and aggravation of a living creature to care for, the growing empathy between them, and yes, the delight. Son of consolation was the meaning given to the name Barnabas in the 4th chapter of Acts, and he was all that and more. Barnabas had even done for him what nothing else had ever done. This great black maverick dog had somehow made him feel 20 years younger. They crossed. They followed fresh tracks to a low point on the creek bank and crossed the creek on a series of large boulders. On the other side, the tracks led to the door of a ramshackle house sitting near a derelict bridge. The chimney sent up billows of fragrant wood smoke, and from inside the dwelling, which was scarcely bigger than a tool shed, came the sound of laughter. One other excerpt from At Home in Mitford, again published in 1996 by Penguin. The second snowfall had muffled the everyday sounds of the village, so that all he heard as they walked was the crunch of their footsteps in the untracked blanket that covered the sidewalk. Footprints in the snow with Lovers and Other Strangers. From 98.1 CHFI. Lovers and Other Strangers, Vanessa Carlton on a journey of 1,000 miles. My companion writing is about another set of footprints, long gone now, but still fresh in the memory as the day they were left. Some footprints leave that impression on us. Log on right now to the CHFI website, follow the links on the homepage to my blog at CHFI.com. And Lovers and Other Strangers returns. I'm Don Jackson.
Sit back, relax, and enjoy. This is Lovers and Other Strangers on 98.1 CHFI. Toronto's light favorites, 98.1 CHFI. And relax with us online at CHFI.com.
And welcome back to the Footprints in the Snow, made by Lovers and Other Strangers. Now a blog as well at CHFI.com. I'm Don Jackson. Gary Marchuk, quoted in an article in the January 1998 issue of Victoria magazine, said, "My greatest joy is being out on a remote mountain, making my own track, leaving my signature in snow." This is an excerpt from a poem called Invisible Tree by Tamura Ryuichi and written this past century. It reminds us that there are creatures searching for food throughout the year, not just in the high heat of summer, but also in the deep cold, snowy winter. It reminds me of that tale of the ant and the grasshopper by Aesop. I saw little tracks in the snow. Looking at them, I saw for the first time the world that is governed by small animals, little birds and beasts in the woods. Take a fox, for instance. His tracks go endlessly in a straight line down the valley road north of the village. The hunger, I know, has never drawn a straight line like this. My heart has never had such a resilient, blind, affirmative rhythm as in these tracks. An excerpt from Invisible Tree. In another of Aesop's fables called The Lion, the Fox, and the Beasts was this: while I see many hoof marks going in, I see none coming out. Of course, the moral to the tale was, it is easier to get into the enemy's toils than out again. Lovers and Other Strangers from 98.1 CHFI. Lovers and Other Strangers, Burton Cummings, Break It to Them Gently. And there's something in that song, or something about that song, that alludes to what my late-night visitors were. Writer Gabriela Mistral won the Nobel Prize for Literature in 1945. From one of my volumes of Nobel Prize-winning poetry comes this, called The Flower of the Air. I found her standing in my path, halfway across the meadow, mistress of all who pass her way, or spoke or looked upon her. She said to me, "Go up the mountain. I never leave the meadow, and gather me flowers as white as snow, sturdy and tender." I went up the bitter mountain seeking flowers, where they whiten half asleep and half awake among the crags. When I came down with my burden, in the middle of the meadow I found her, and frantically covered her with a shower of lilies. But without looking at the whiteness, she said to me, "This time, bring back only flowers that are red. I cannot go beyond the meadow." I scaled the rocks with deer and sought the flowers of madness, those that grew so red they seemed to live and die of redness. When I descended, happily trembling, I gave them as my offering. But like a sleepwalker looking at me, she said, "Go up and bring back now golden ones, the golden ones. I never leave the meadow." Up the mountain straight I climbed, to search for the thickest flowers, those the color of sun and saffron, just born but yet eternal. When I found her, as usual, in the middle of the meadow, I covered once more with flowers and left her as in a garden. Still crazy with gold, she said, "Climb up and gather flowers without color, neither saffron nor of crimson, the color of sleep and the color of dreams. I am the mother of the meadow." Climbing, I went up the mountain. There grew no flowers on any branches. None bloomed among the crags. So from the air I gathered blossoms, cutting them lightly. I picked them as if I were a picker who was blind, cutting here and there from air, and taking air as garden. When I descended from the mountain and went looking for the queen, no longer pale or wild-eyed, she was strolling now. Like a sleepwalker, she started from the meadow, and I followed through the pasture, through the grove, quite loaded down with flowers, shoulders and hands aerial. She went on plucking them from air, and the wind became her harvest. On she goes now, with no face, On she goes and leaves no footprints, bearing flowers without color, neither white nor crimson. Still I follow after through the branches of the mist, until she leads me to the brink where time dissolves. The words of Gabriela Mistral. The flower of the air. With Lovers and Other Strangers from 98.1 CHFI. Lovers and Other Strangers, Bette Midler with The Rose Beneath the April Snow, and Norah Jones and Come Away With Me. Take a few pinches of frost, add some sunshine, but not too much, and mix with enough snow to remind you that winter hasn't gone. Add a few tracks of meandering deer looking for some early buds. And if there is enough snow, it might be decorated with a silly track of a possum that drags his tapered tail behind him. An excerpt from a recipe for a February day that I found in the 1990 Harris Farmer's Almanac. Well, it wasn't a possum. So I'm up at the top of my driveway. I've backtracked some interesting footprints that came down between my two vehicles. I've come to know the footprints of the creatures that inhabit the ravine that borders our neighborhood. Two separate prints, two fairly large raccoons, had come over the gate leading onto my property and down to the street below. You know, they say that by the end of January it is time for the raccoons to mate. I looked carefully at their prints, and I thought I might have discovered a mated pair on the hunt for food together. And looking closely at them, they had stopped for a moment, as if undecided which direction to strike out in. Or maybe I could even imagine them arguing for a brief moment about which direction they should take. In that voice of theirs that is so distinctive. Even if they quarreled, they still went on in the same direction. Well, up there I saw one more set of tracks. The rabbit that lives under the porch of a neighbor. I've told you about this small creature in past programs. That little creature was by as well. It's amazing what you see in the snow before you have to shovel it. Rod McEwen, in a poem called Tomorrow, 1963, from the book Alone, published in 1975 by Pocket Books, wrote, I know that love is running in the snow. I cannot see it, but it's there. As sure as caterpillars tunnel in the leaves, and winter weight bogs down the trees. And so I search the highways and the hills. Lovers and Other Strangers from 98.1 CHFI. Stay tuned. Lovers and Other Strangers returns. I'm Don Jackson.
Romance set to words and music. Lovers and Other Strangers on 98.1 CHFI. Toronto's light favorites, 98.1 CHFI. And relax with us online at CHFI.com.
We're in the heart of Toronto, around the world on the internet, and now a blog as well at CHFI.com. My companion writing is about another set of footprints, long gone now, but still as fresh in the memory as the day they were left. Log on right now to the CHFI website. Follow the links on the homepage to my blog at CHFI.com. Good evening once again. I'm Don Jackson. It was Milton who wrote, millions of spiritual creatures walk the earth unseen, both when we wake and when we sleep. Tonight, the footprints of lovers and other strangers from 98.1 CHFI. Lovers and Other Strangers, Sarah McLachlan, Fallen, and the Beatles on that long and winding road. I see up ahead a couple who are making their own footprints in the freshly fallen snow. Eleanor Wiley wrote, "Let us walk in the white snow, in a soundless space, with footsteps quiet and slow, at a tranquil pace, under veils of white lace. I shall go shod in silk, and you in wool, white as a white cow's milk, more beautiful than the breast of a gull. We shall walk through the still town in a windless peace. We shall step upon white down, upon silver fleece, upon softer than these. We shall walk in velvet shoes. Wherever we go, silence will fall like dews on white silence below. We shall walk in the snow." Lovers and Other Strangers from 98.1 CHFI. Lovers and Other Strangers, Rod Stewart with These Foolish Things, and 10cc with the things we do for love, including walking in the rain and the snow. This set of footprints in the snow lead to the warm confines of a restaurant. Sarah Teasdale wrote, "The darkened street was muffled with the snow. The falling flakes had made your shoulders white, and when we found a shelter from the night, its glamour fell upon us like a bow. The clash of dishes and the viol and bow mingled beneath the fever of the light. The heat was full of savors, and the bright laughter of women lured the wine to flow. The hour went by. We rose and turned to go. The somber street received us from the glare, and once more on your shoulders fell the snow." Another set of footprints have led to the same restaurant, and the man seems to be only interested in the payphone just inside the door. Lovers and Other Strangers from 98.1 CHFI. Lovers and Other Strangers, Blue Rodeo with Bad Timing. My companion writing is about another set of footprints, long gone now, washed away by the tides of a great southern ocean, but still as fresh in the memory as the day they were left. Log on right now to the CHFI website. Follow the links on the homepage to my blog at CHFI.com. And Lovers and Other Strangers returns. I'm Don Jackson.
Passion set to words and music. Lovers and Other Strangers on 98.1 CHFI. Toronto's light favorites, 98.1 CHFI. And relax with us online at CHFI.com.
And welcome back to the footprints of Lovers and Other Strangers. Now a blog as well at CHFI.com. I'm Don Jackson. Before the lovers return to their warm home, there is a detour to a place foreign to winter. This is called Coney Island, by Sarah Teasdale. Why did you bring me here? The sand is white with snow. Over the wooden domes the winter sea winds blow. There is no shelter near. Come, let us go. With foam of icy lace, the sea creeps up the sand. The wind is like a hand that strikes us in the face. Doors that June set a-swing are bolted long ago. We try them uselessly. Alas, there cannot be for us a second spring. Come, let us go. On a cold, snow-swept beach with 98.1 CHFI. Lovers and Other Strangers, The Honey Drippers, The Sea of Love, and Diana Krall and Narrow Daylight. One of the best scenes in the film Contact was the one when Ellie meets the alien disguised as her long-dead father on that beach somewhere far off in the galaxy. It reminds me of this. John Muir, in 1938, in John of the Mountains, wrote, "How hard to realize that every camp of men or beast has this glorious, starry firmament for a roof. In such places, standing alone on the mountaintop, it is easy to realize that whatever special nests we make, leaves and moss like the marmots and birds, or tents, or piled stone, we all dwell in a house of one room, and are sailing the celestial spaces without leaving any track." Lovers and Other Strangers, from 98.1 CHFI. Lovers and Other Strangers, Enrique Iglesias with Hero and Michael Bublé, Coming Back Home. This was contained on a little bookmark with some instructions on how to live your life to the fullest. It was published by Little Gem Press. And American Greetings in Cleveland, Ohio. Pledge allegiance to yourself. Believe in miracles. Leap before you look. Laugh a lot along the way. Dive in. Dare to make mistakes. Follow angel footprints. Listen to your own wise and gentle, knowing voice. Hug the little child in you. Breathe deep, trusting breaths. See things from an upside-down point of view. Live your dreams. Demand nothing less than everything. And an unknown writer once said, some people come into your lives and quickly go. Some people become friends and stay a while, leaving beautiful footprints on our hearts. And we are not quite the same because we have made a good friend. Eleanor Roosevelt was once quoted as saying, "Many people will walk in and out of your life, but only true friends will leave footprints on your heart." Lovers and Other Strangers, from 98.1 CHFI. Lovers and Other Strangers, that's Norah Jones and Don't Know Why. Don't forget to read my companion writing in my blog section at CHFI.com. Log on and follow, of course, the links right on our homepage. That concludes another chapter of Lovers and Other Strangers. Lovers and Other Strangers returns long after the sun sets. Good night, sweet dreams. I'm Don Jackson.
Your life set to words and music. Lovers and Other Strangers on 98.1 CHFI.